So if you would like to think about that for a minute or two, no, not even that long, but. Okay, thank you very much. Health and welfare, Bob, do you have anything to tell us about that these days?
I talked to Andrea and Mike LeBlanc today. They are former Rotarians, and they were very instrumental in introducing our club to fish fries, doing whitefish and yellow perch. And they also, after they left Rotary, came back to help us out at a number of events. They are moving to Sarnia on April the 13th. Mike is the captain of 2 boats, one in Sarnia and one down near Amherstburg. And I guess they got tired of driving from Southampton to Sarnia. So we will miss them here, but I told them I would keep in touch with them and see how things are going. So it was good to talk to them today, and we will miss them. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, they did a wonderful job, and they were doing international service too. We did some work with the school, and I can't remember which country it was in now, but it was in Central America, Central America. I'm looking at people who I wasn't here. No, anyway, Alex would have been, but neither one of us remembers that at the moment. The school, that the International Services Committee.
I remember the people working with it.
Yeah. Anyways, thank you. We'd like to move on to our induction of new members. Rachel and Siggy are not able to be with us tonight, but they are together in the home, and Kathy has taken the kids over to them, and so Kathy's going to join me up here, and Bob is going to do the induction. So this is our first like real Zoomy experience with this.
Bear with us.
Yeah. So Bob, thank you.
Well, I'm glad I'm in a Zooming experience. President Jenny and fellow members, I am privileged and honored to assist in the induction of our newest members, Rachel Bueller and Siggy Bueller. Rachel, you have been sponsored by Kathy Johnbo, and Siggy, you have been sponsored by Jenny Amy. You have been invited to join the Southampton Rotary Club, which will be celebrating its 85th anniversary in May of this year. Many hardworking Rotarians have predated you and have worked for and funded many important projects in Southampton and around the world. These projects reflect the Rotary motto, service above self. You are joining an organization of close to 1.3 million Rotarians in over 34,000 clubs in over 200 countries. You will be part of District 6330, which stretches from Tobermory to Lake Erie, and also includes clubs in Michigan. You will receive a warm welcome at any of these clubs, or indeed any club worldwide. In Rotary, there are 5 avenues of service: club service, community service, vocational and youth service, and international service. We ask all members to join and participate in at least one of these areas of service. By serving on one of these committees, you will discover the good work that Southampton Rotary does and get to know your fellow Rotarians. We hope also that you will take part in fundraising activities where we will teach you to flip pancakes, grill hot dogs, fry French fries, and our newest endeavor, popcorn. May you be stimulated by the friendship you find here, and may this club in return know you to be an added source of strength to all our club's endeavors. Members, would you please join your hands together in welcoming our newest members, Siggy and Rachel.
Hello, thank you very much.
And Siggy and Rachel, Jenny says that you are going to pin each other, or maybe you are already pinned.
We are.
Yeah, we are. Yeah.
So good to have you in our group.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We're so happy to be here.
Thank you.
And to be accepted. Thank you.
Okay. So now it is my pleasure to turn the podium over to Stuart, who is going to introduce our guest speaker for the night. Stuart. I know. This isn't working. No. Oh, you're muted. You're muted.
You're muted, Stu.
It's like a seance.
Superintendent of Media Services for Blue Water.
Not a good start, Uncle Stu.
It's only been going on since 2020.
Okay, can everybody hear me now?
Yes. No more hack.
Great. I'm sorry about that. It's my pleasure tonight to introduce my nephew Jacob and Leidy, who live in Armenia, Nido. I was practicing this word all afternoon, Colombia, with their son Oliver. Jacob is a Colombian at heart at this point, and but a Canadian by birth, who came to Armenia in 2009. He's been part of the Armenia International Rotary Club for just about 2 years. It was my pleasure actually to be able to sponsor him into that club. As involved in various projects at the Sanja Foundation, including a food bank, and Nido, which is a local crisis team pregnancy center, which he founded with his wife Leidy in 2016. Leidy, at this point, is executive director of Nido, and just runs a program for teen moms. The focus of Nido, which means the nest in Espanol, is to develop a safe haven for teen moms who come from various situations that can range from abuse, neglect, to insecurity and hopelessness. They both have amazing talents, but my nephew Jacob has readily admitted that dancing isn't one of them for him. However, they do love each other, and they're making a great difference in the lives of these young women. So Rotarians, Southampton Rotarians, let's welcome Jacob and Leidy.
Hi.
Hi, thanks so much, Uncle Stu.
It's a pleasure for us to be here tonight, so thank you for having us here.
So we'll jump right into it because Uncle Stu said we only have 10 minutes and then we get cut off. No, but yeah, thanks for having us. It's great to be here. We're relatively new, in the Rotary Club, but we've really been enjoying it. It's something that's been great. And we were actually in Southampton in October of last year. We stayed at Jenny's bed and breakfast. It was a great time. We got to meet some people from the clubs. It was a really nice time. So yeah, tonight we'll jump right into it. I will share our presentation here and make sure that everyone there can see it before we start.
Yeah.
It's all good?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So as Uncle Stu said, El Nido means the nest. That's the technical translation in English. And yeah, it's a center for teen mothers. To give you kind of some background, in Colombia, this was from 2020, the stats have probably gone up, 45.2% of women between 10 and 49 years old expressed that they had their first child as a girl or adolescent. In particular, 43% became mothers for the first time between ages 15 and 19. So this is the population that we're working with. And we'd like to give you some idea and some of the context of the problems for these teen mothers. So one is my beautiful wife can attest, although she said she'll talk at the end because this is my job when we do English stuff. She does everything in Spanish, so this is what I have to do. Non-attendance and lack of adherence to their prenatal controls. So that's one of the things, just being teenagers in general, and because we're working with girls. In Colombia, it's set into almost levels of poverty. So work with girls with 1, well, really 0 to 2 are the levels we're working with. So a lot of the time they don't go, they don't listen to their medical recommendations. And this also increases the risk of extreme morbidity and maternal death, which is something that we're trying to stop. Also, this is linked right up with poor health education. For example, many of them have no idea of the warning signs and like what happens, and they don't go to see a doctor. We had a girl this year who was thinking to be part of the program, and she lived outside of town. And just because she didn't go to hospital in time, she actually ended up losing her baby. She was going to be part of the program. She ended up not being part of the program.
She was 37 weeks. So she had to give birth to this baby who was dead. So it was really hard and sad.
And these are things that maybe could have been avoided if she had the education, if she knew in advance that like when you feel something, you need to get to a hospital.
I'm talking about weeks, and maybe you don't know, you don't remember, but from 37 weeks up to 40 weeks, you are ready to deliver your baby. So your baby is completely formed and all that. So, yeah.
Also, the lack of education and economical means put the young mothers at risk. And this stops their ability to be able to take advantage of the medical services that are available. So that's something we do in our program. We try to connect these young mothers to the services so they can actually use them. We don't necessarily provide all the services. We want them to use the services that are available that exist. And we'd like you to watch this short little video of one of the girls that she graduated from our program last year. Her name's Daira, and she was from Venezuela. And so this is just her explaining about her experience before and after in El Nido.
Hola, mi nombre es Daira Rojas y quedé en embarazo a los 19 años de edad. Mi hija se llama Mía Antonella Guzmán Rojas. Soy migrante venezolana, migré de mi país por lo que está atravesando Venezuela. Mi situación acá en Colombia fue de calle. Pasé hambre, necesidades. Ha sido difícil por mi situación de ser migrante, conseguir casa, conseguir empleo. El Nido para mí ha sido mi segunda familia. Es el hogar que no tuve. Mi sueño más grande es poder seguir estudiando, culminar mis estudios y volverme profesional en la carrera de estilismo y maquillaje. Te invito a que nos apoyes a cumplir nuestros sueños.
So El Nido was founded in 2016, and we're a program, as I said, that promotes the dignity and solidarity of all people while focusing on the protection of the rights of teenage mothers and their children who suffer from poverty, exclusion, and inequality. So to give you kind of an idea of what we do in the program, we offer comprehensive health education. So this is related to pre and postnatal care. The girls come in while they're pregnant to the program, they have their babies, and they stay with us for 1 year after so that they can learn to develop a connection to their children. And we believe that doing this will decrease the risk of morbidity and maternal death, because the statistics say the more the girls have access to actual health education, the more likely they are to have a healthy baby and a healthy pregnancy. And we do this by the emphasis on the importance of attending their medical controls. Lady is very like a nagging mom to a lot of these girls. She calls them, makes sure they're going. If they miss their appointments, she's on top of them because they really, really need to make it to their appointments to make sure that their baby will be born healthy and without any problems or any kind of risk of death. Also, it's like sexual education. This is a big, big problem here. There was a new special that came out like a couple, maybe 5 years ago, talking about the population that we work with and interviewing some of the girls. And some of the girls actually believe that heating up Coca-Cola and putting some lime in it and drinking that before you have sex means you will not become pregnant. So this is the kind of population and the education that we're fighting against. So we provide sexual education as well as access to contraceptive methods, because one of our goals is to prevent subsequent pregnancies. Because I believe the statistic says in Colombia, like if you become pregnant when you're 15, before 15, you're more likely to have 2 or 3 kids by the time you're 19 from different fathers, more than likely. And many of these girls are from that cycle. Many of these girls, like if you talk to them, their mom was also a teenage mother, their sisters or brothers are from possible other parents. And then you go even further and it's their grandma was the same thing. So this is something cyclical that we're trying to stop. And sexual education is something that is very important. And so, yeah, we want them to learn about contraceptive methods that will actually work and not just drink a warm Coke and think that they're not going to get pregnant. Also, we focus on the childcare education part as well. So this is in terms of like creating the bond between the mother and child and realizing that this is their child. Because what happens sometimes is that they have their baby, they give it to their mom raises it almost as their sister, and then they just go off and they'll get pregnant again later on. So it's actually realizing that they can do this, they have the responsibility, they are the mothers, they can train their child, and they can provide for their child and create a better life and a better future that will hopefully break this cycle that's been happening. We also put an emphasis on the importance of finishing their education. So many of these girls haven't even finished grade school. So we really, really encourage them. There's in some cases for girls that need a lot of help, we've paid for them to continue studying. So they have modules and they can study from home. Basically, they do their work and then they have to bring it to their teacher, because we try to let them know that like if they want to break the cycle, if they want to have a future for them and their baby, it's really important. Education is a really, really, really important thing. Because what normally, as I said, what normally happens is they drop out of school. They drop out of school and they don't finish. One of the girls we were celebrating recently, because one of the first girls in the program, she recently graduated from high school. And it was a long endeavor. She was 13 when she got
pregnant. She was 13.
And now she has her child, and now she's graduated high school, and we're helping her try to find links and get a job. And also the last thing is we really want to create a safe space where they can share their feelings, when they can talk about what they need, and they can foster friendships. What we've actually seen over these 7 years where we've been working with these girls is that it's great, because after the program ends, after 2 years, we still keep tabs on them. But it's really interesting to see that they still have birthday parties together, they still get together, and they have their own community. So that support system that they wouldn't have had before, that's what we want to instill in them too. So it's not just always on us, like, oh, we need to call a lady, we need to figure out how they can help us. It's like they can help one another. And it's been really nice to see, like, sometimes someone needs some food, so between all of them, they raise the money to buy some food for the person that doesn't have anything. So it's nice to see that they have those support systems in place. Recently, something that we want to share with you guys that we can celebrate, we were given a Rotary District grant by a club in Yarmouth, Maine. And so we've been able to actually provide on-site preventative medical checkups. So that means we were able to purchase some basic medical equipment, and we've paid for a doctor for 6 months while these girls, we have 32 girls right now in our program this year. So they can, this isn't to replace the checkups that they get. They need to go see their doctors and be registered in the health system. But then we can have like follow-ups, because as we've seen, like the more contact they have with a doctor and someone making sure they're okay, the more likely they are to avoid maternal death or the child, or the death of the child.
We are really consistent in this, because when you're a teen mom, you have double risk of having problems pre or postnatal. Yes, it's actually the second cause of death in young women and around the world. So that's why it's really, really important for them to keep up their checkups and make sure there is problems that maybe it could be avoided or prevented. So that's why maybe if you're wondering, I want to give you that little aspect so you will have a better idea. And the other thing is statistics and studies said that a teen pregnancy perpetuates the cycle of poverty around the world, especially in our countries, because they have lack of opportunities, they drop out of school, so they can have a formal job with benefits and all that they need in place in order to raise their kids. They don't have the support, they don't have people who will take care of their kids, so they will end up in the streets selling coffee or candies to raise their kids. And if they have, we receive girls that is their first pregnancy, because if you have one child, well, it's going to be difficult, it's going to be hard, of course, but you still have the opportunity to grow, to improve, to, if you have a net support that will, a support network that will help you, well, it will, if you could go out from there, you know, you can grow. But when you have more than one kid, it says that your probability of leaving the poverty cycle, it will be 0. So
yeah, that's why we focus on the first pregnancy. And during the 7 years we've been doing this, some of the results we've seen is 97% of our girls have not had repeated pregnancies. There's the 3 that have, it's like we've got about 100 girls come through our program now. One was by choice, because now she's established, she has a partner, she's set, she has a job, and they decided to have another child. Another one, unfortunately, was just because she never actually finished the full program. And then another girl, it was because she actually had an implant and she had it taken out and then she got pregnant.
But she had get it taken out because she's going to have the surgery?
Because she was going to have the surgery.
Not have more kids.
Yeah.
But somehow she misunderstood the information from the health center, and she retried that before the surgery. It was 15 days. And I don't know what's going on with these girls. You look at them and they got pregnant, but during those 15 days, she got pregnant. So it was.
So yeah.
Well, it's hard to have 100% in that one.
82% have finished or are finishing their studies. So that's something that we keep encouraging them to do, and we keep keeping tabs on the girls as well. 100% of the girls that have come through are now on some form of birth control, because that's something that we push a lot. Before the program, 93% were not using any method of birth control. So that just gives you an idea of like just the education that's needed for these girls. And 100% of our babies have been born healthy and without complications. We are very grateful for that. We know that statistic could change, but we just keep hoping and praying that it does not. And 0% of the mothers have died due to complications during their pregnancy or labor. Some of our future goals, because we're constantly trying to learn, adapt, and grow the program. We started small, working out of a health center. Now we have our own building. We want to hire a full-time psychologist and social worker, as well as continue to pay for the doctor that we have, because we figure lots of these girls need psychological help, professionals. I mean, we can come alongside them, listen to them, and help them. But we also believe that, you know, people go to school for a reason in these careers. So we don't want to assume that we can do their job. And a social worker would be very important for us, because we want to get into the homes of these girls, where we believe it will actually have more effect. So what we're teaching here, when they go home, you know, we can know if their mom is maybe saying, no, don't listen to that. Like, don't worry, you don't have to do that. So that's because we're fighting a lot against education. We want to do some renovations. We want to put in a wheelchair ramp. We haven't had any people recently, but we do want to get up to code in that sense. We want to be able, if someone comes and has a disability, that they're able to come to the program. We want to renovate the whole first area so we can actually put in a formal doctor's office, an area for a psychologist, an area for a social worker. So that's some of our goals. And also we want to make alliances for occupational opportunities for these girls, so that when they leave us, it's not just, oh, now you're in the air. We actually have these things like, look, if you study this, we have these businesses that might hire you, or these are the jobs available to you right now. If you want to study, we can train you to help you and actually have a job to be able to support their child as well. This is Daira from the beginning. And now she's working in a bubble tea place. It's the first bubble tea place that opened up in our city. And friends of ours opened it up, and she went through the interview process. We said, like, please don't give her any special treatment, because then later if something happens, we'll feel bad. But no, she's been doing really well. I mean, she still has issues sometimes, like trying to find childcare while she's there. That's something also in the future we want to figure out for these girls, if we can supply some kind of childcare while they work. But she's the main breadwinner in her family now. And so like that's her shaking the tea up. I was like, and she's really, really happy.
She's really happy. She's enjoying that. And she's gonna graduate from high school in the middle of this year, because she's doing the models with us. Well, not with us. We pay for that, but she's gonna graduate in the middle of the year, and we're so proud and thankful for that. And I just want to say, but all the pictures that you see there, it's all from our girls, from our program. So if you see me smiling, it's because I see them and I'm, oh yeah, that, oh yeah. So it's really nice to see these little kids that now they're so grown ups. Like, he's 6 years old right now, so.
And one of our other future goals before we finish is we were applying for an international Rotary grant. We were denied, but that didn't stop us in terms of we were given some really good feedback back at a project fair just in February as to why maybe we were denied. They said, no, your project should be supported. So we're going to be working on that. We have now some cadres that are helping us to rework the project, so that hopefully the next time we send it in, it will be approved. We were really sad. It was disappointing because we'd thought that everything was ready. Like, we dotted our I's, crossed the T's, everything was good, but there were some issues. So we're going to be working on that in the next year as well. And thank you for having us. If you have any questions, please, now is the time to ask us.
Kathy's coming up here, so this is working again. Someday there's more perfect. Oh. Yeah. Thank you so much for that. I'm wondering, you answered all the questions that I had written down as you were speaking to begin with, or during the presentation. But one thing that I'm wondering about is that the gals that have been included in this program is there a ripple effect down to their younger siblings, perchance, about birth control or not getting pregnant to begin with, that type of thing?
I'm just gonna check it.
Es que si también está ayudando los hermanos de ellos. Okay. Sí, para usar como contraceptivos, así.
Well, the idea, we always educate these girls so they can replicate the information with their peers. At home or at school. It has been wonderful seeing and hearing from them when they say, like, oh, so-and-so wrote to me and I could advise this because I learned from you guys. And so, yes, it's being replicated, but at the same time, that's part of what we do. Really think we need a social worker so we can work with the family and make sure the information is clear and they can understand and ask us questions about why this is like this or not. So we do that and we encourage them to replicate the information, but I think we can still grow in that area.
Great. Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else in the room? Anybody on the screen? Bob, okay.
Karen and I are both listening, and Karen wondered how many other employees you have, or do the two of you do everything?
No, there's more people right now. It's actually, the program's grown a little bit, but employees right now, the only paid person in the project is the doctor, where like everyone else is volunteers, including us. We raise our own support in terms of like through fundraising, so that all the money that comes into the program can go to the program and hire the doctors, hire the professionals. Just because, yeah, we're not raking it in, so we can't really be giving salaries to anybody right now, not even a doctor. So that's why, like, that's what we like, the fundraising and stuff we want to continue in order to raise funds for that. We have done well. We raised enough to purchase most of our building, and then someone gave us a loan for we have a no interest loan for 5 years to pay off the building. So we've been doing well that way. But yeah, in terms of staff, Leidy has like basically the co-director is one of her close friends who's actually on a leave of absence right now. She's going through some personal stuff in her life. So it's been falling mostly on Leidy this year, but we have other volunteers.
We are really grateful. Like in our culture, volunteer is not a really big deal. So it's been difficult trying to find people who volunteer, but I think of what we do and what believe we're doing and the experience that we have allowed us to actually get more people involved. So it's been wonderful to see how we have been able to accomplish all that we have accomplished with just volunteers. So it's our professionals who volunteer 1 or 2 hours a week and do the talks and follow-ups to the girls and whatever it needs in place. And then we have a meeting, like me and some other volunteers. So we do the programming and like all the stuff so we can organize all the activities and have everything in place in order to do that. And we have alliances with universities. So they send us some of the students to volunteer with us, nurses, or ¿cómo se llaman los de pedagogía?
Like people that are early childhood education people too as well, or will volunteer sometimes.
So we try to develop all those connections that will allow us to keep growing the program and keep it in.
Yeah, because we need lots of volunteers, especially in the second phase when they all have babies, because 32 will multiply into 64.
Really quick. Our program multiplied really quick.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you wonder how do we get the girls. We have an alliance with 3 hospitals in different cities around us. One of our main city, and then 2 closest cities like are 10 minutes away, and they will refer us the girls. And then that's how we start the process with them. Rachel and Siggy.
Oh, I missed the name of the city or the town that you're in where this is held. So where is it?
It's in Armenia, Quindío, Colombia.
How do you spell that?
Spelled like Armenia, A-R-M. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I was very confused. I kept on hearing Armenia. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
It's okay, cool. Thank you.
Coffee country. It's right in the middle of the country.
It's a coffee area, our coffee region.
So if you ever want to come visit, let us know.
Yeah. Thank you. Gracias.
Anyone else? Okay. Then if not, I would be, Kathy, are you doing? No, me. I get to thank you. And I'm delighted to see you again after seeing you on my front porch in October. And I'm so glad that you're doing so well with the project that it's really obviously from your statistical information doing really well. And so we're so pleased for you. Thank you for sharing what you've been doing and keeping us up with your progress.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you so much.
So I'm anticipating that you have other things to do with your life besides sitting on the, yeah. So you're.
Maybe dinner.
So we will excuse you again and thank you again for your time and for your energy and all the things you're doing.
Oh, thank you so much for
It's great to see you. And always remember, if you ever want to come, the project fair next year is in Colombia, is in our city. So please, it's in the first week of February. If you want to escape the cold and come to a beautiful country, you're more than welcome. We'll find you a place to stay.
A really nice view with a nice one. No, snow. So you're more than welcome.
Yeah, thanks for having us. Good night.
Okay, thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Susan, did you have something you wanted?
No, I was just thinking that maybe Lauren Zorzi is trying to organize friendship exchanges, and maybe that, I'll add that to the list.
Okay, great. Gotcha. Thank you. Okay. So now we get to do happy bucks, fines, and birthdays. So anybody want to step up to the plate? I think I might be able to bring this around without Essing and carrying on. Maybe not.
No. Okay, can people hear me?
Yeah.
I would like to put in 10 happy bucks because I'm so happy that we have 2 new members in our club. And thank you for singing.
Thank you. Who else is stepping up to the plate here?
I'll do the same.
Rob is also offering $10 to welcome you. And Lon, he's so happy he doesn't have to be the latest one. That is, yes, and Mike's in too.
I'll do it.
And Ken and Susan.
Can't keep up.
Okay, and Stuart, do you have something else you want to say, or you just Ken?
Somebody say something so I can catch up.
I've got another happy buck.
I only got 3 there.
Got Lon,
Okay.
Rob, Susan, Mike, Kathy.
And Stu.
We'll do it too, because we're happy to be here.
Good stuff. Susan, do you have something else? I'm reluctant to. Yeah, I'm not. Well, it's still buzzing.
I don't know if people saw the sunset tonight, but I'd like to put in $5 for the best sunset in, I think, the world. They say the second best, but I think we're number 1. Anyway. Okay. There you go.
That scared you off? Okay, I'll stick it back in the screen and see if we can. One of these days we'll figure this all out.
Oh, we're getting new AV. And we don't have to worry.
New AV too. I think you're on the list to talk about that pretty soon. Yeah. I want to get well, I'll be in with that too. So you can put me into for another $10. But I also want to pay $10 for the opportunity I had to go to Abu Dhabi. I said to myself, that would be really interesting to go to a Rotary meeting there, because as we've said this evening, Bob said this evening to Siggy and Rachel, you can go anywhere in the world and go to a Rotary meeting. And so I thought, I'll go when I'm in Abu Dhabi. Well, in fact, there are no Rotary clubs in Abu Dhabi listed with Rotary International. There are 6 in Dubai, which is an hour-and-a-half drive, but they're all Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday at night. So I did not do it, but I at least thought of it. So I'll give $10 for my trip, but
That's in addition to the $10?
yeah, put me in.
Okay.
I didn't spend all my money on holidays. Anybody else have anything they want to be happy about? I mean, part of my $10 is because I got to play with my 5-year-old granddaughter on her birthday. So I have to tell one more story, so I better pay $10 for that too. We got to meet our granddaughter's teacher. Her name is Miss Kate. And so we said, and she's American, and she said, but her husband's Canadian. And they were in Canada this year in the summertime for holidays. And they went to their, her husband's family's cottage. And they were talking about the little girl that was, going to be coming from this area. And they said, their cottage, by the way, is in Wyerton. And they said, we've lost it. So they said, so who are these people that you're, that's coming to the school? And then we said that, they said, oh, it's, last name is Amy. They said, oh, Don Amy, the real estate guy? So I said to Don, you can't get away with the thing. Even in Abigail, you know. That's amazing. I thought that was funny. Okay. Anybody else? You know it's going to work as soon as you take it. Yeah. Anyway, so that's all right. So that's fines and happy bucks. Anybody have a birthday they want to fess up about? No. Alrighty, then we won't have to worry about that. So what happens with the fines and happy bucks is that Dave keeps track of this, and Susan sends out bills every quarter, every 2 to 3 months. 2 months, yeah. I think we all do time right now, though. I think we're due. We're due. Okay, so look at the invoice from Susan that says, here's how much you owe. Okay.
Good, I got my last one in just in time, yeah.
We do accept money.
We'll mention the fact you're almost last.
And so that I can send him his invoice and put it in, because it really makes it be up like when a gas put some, does a fine or whatever, and I can't enter them. So next week.
Yeah, that's why I'm.
Okay. Good. So when Dave gets that microphone finished, he can give us an update on the status of the AV equipment.
Somebody has a commercial message in the meantime, that would be great. I'm thinking these batteries are maybe no good.
Oh, okay.
Because these batteries aren't working either. Maybe Rob will come up and talk over to them. Okay,
Rob.
Just loud.
Just have to talk loud. Yeah.
Teacher's voice.
Engineer's voice.
All right, well, it's March 1st, so that means that February's over, and that means that Winterama's over, sort of. Officially, I guess it's over, Dave, and this has been the 21st year that we've had Winterama, and for those that don't know, we engage the local schools to participate in winter activities, and they collect their kilometers, and Dave will have more to say about that because they did an amazing job this year. But along with that, we asked them to raise money for their schools. And we also get corporate donations to help defray some of our expenses. And this year, so far, we've raised almost $7,000, or the kids have raised almost $7,000 through their pledges. And we've received about $8,700, I guess, in corporate sponsors. We're hoping for another one to come through, which is usually late, but it's usually worth waiting for. So it's not as lucrative. Well, I don't really want to use the word lucrative, but it's not as successful financially as it was in previous years. We're down, as I say, around $7,000. We will get some paper pledges and cash in from the schools in the next few days, hopefully, and that will raise the amount higher than what it is now. Last year, kids raised about $14,000, so we're down fairly significantly. The corporate sponsorships are probably about the same as last year. But all the money that the kids raise goes back to their schools to help their school projects and their nutrition programs, breakfast programs. And yeah, so it'll be a little bit of time to wrap things up, and we're going to have a little bit of a logistical issue because I'm going away next week for a while, and Dave's going away in April. And the Barama suits in for dry cleaning after 6 years. So anyway, it's been a lot of fun, and Dave's done an amazing job coordinating with all the schools. We've got 8 schools involved this year, and he's managed to get MPX Innovations who help at Bruce Nuclear, and they do a lot of software stuff, and Dave's got them to do a online activity registry so that the kids can register for putting in their activities and by the kilometer. And we also did that with a number of our members too. So Dave, I don't know if you want to report on that.
Sure. I actually have awards.
Oh, wow. Okay. And by the way, I just want to thank, we also asked our club members to contribute, and again, a number of our club members contributed to Winter Round. So for those that did, thank you very much. We appreciate that. And that money will be funneled back into the club to help our youth and vocational programs.
So before I go to our club awards, because we're going to give out the first gold medals in the program to our club. Just looking at the screen there, I'm not sure I can see that from here, but we can see how the schools performed. One of the things that tickled us was the number of participants. We estimated there were 2,000 kids in the 8 schools that we accessed, and 1,260 registered. So actually logged kilometers. So we were pretty tickled with that. We would have liked if it translated into money for their schools as well, a bit more. But and our goal, Barama's goal at the beginning of this was to travel enough kilometers to travel around the planet, which was roughly 40,000 kilometers. And as of 2 days ago, we had a couple of thousand kilometers to go. And the last 2 days, it's been a big charge. And we're now at 49,312 kilometers, as you can see. And our little school in Southampton somehow has led the charge and has got 12,000 and change kilometers just by itself. And they also lead in fundraising. They're fundraising at a pretty high level. And then you can see the other schools there. But within our club, we decided we'd have folks register their kilometers, and we had 18 participants who had some fun, hopefully. And Henry led the charge, and he actually logged 136 kilometers through the month of February. I was second with 96. Tony was 94, just behind me. He had much better walking weather than I had. Wendy had 76, and Rob had 52. So those are all gold medalists. So that's why I got the 5 gold medals up here. Unfortunately, Alex and Sylvia were silver medalists. Alex had 48, so he was just 2 off a gold. Sylvia had 46. I don't have the silver medals with me. They're in Terra, getting the stickers put on them. And it looks like Sarah got a bronze medal at 33. And then we had Ken, Lon, Kathy, Bruce, Jenny, Ron, Mary Ellen, Kath, Trish, and Pam logging kilometers as well. So thanks, folks. In total, our club logged 720 kilometers. And we were a class of GC Houston. So we kind of squeezed in as a class, so we helped them along. So anyways, we don't have everybody here. We'll keep these pinned up for Tony and Henry. Keep them on the cork there for when they return.
For their winter activity.
Yes,
for their winter activity. But I'd like to first have Rob come up. There we go. This is what we're going to be doing with the kids in the next week or so. And you're going to do it. So kind of And we give you Wendy as well.
Yeah, we can drag it down. Thank you very much, Rob, and Dave, and everybody else who had anything to do with this Windorama project. Happy, and yes, I know you were heavily involved too, and well, I mean, I think there was popcorn involved in it too, so I mean, somewhere along the line. There might be.
Don't give her ideas.
Anyway, so no, it's a ton of work, and certainly, Rob, you've been on it. How many of the 21 years have you been doing this? Well, probably 8 or 10.
Oh, we have lots of fun.
Yes, and putting on that costume and skating with all those kids and doing all that stuff and all the visits to schools. It's a lot of time, and we really, really appreciate it. And I know the rest of the community does too. So thank you so much. So to avoid getting Dave up here right away next, Kathy, do you want to just talk about the dinner of the month quickly?
Yep. Can I do the social at the same time?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is the first Wednesday of the month, so we had our draw for the dinner of the month draws, and our winners for this month are April Howlett won the $250 gift certificate for the Alton Finch, and a fellow by the name of Tom Stocky, both of Southampton, won $100 for the little black dog. April's has been delivered, and I'm still trying to get a hold of Tom. I've called several times today, and I can't.
They might be out of town.
Yeah.
Brenda and Tom are good travelers.
Okay, well, that explains it then. And so we also have our March social at the Alton Finch this month, March 22nd. We're going to meet at 3:30. You can buy your own drinks, and we'll be providing some appetizers. And that's it.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Kathy, what restaurant did April Howlett win?
She won the Alton Finch $250.
Oh.
And that's funny because
yes,
she'll be very happy.
She was.
Yeah, she's already spoken to Kathy, so yeah. And just to let you know that Mary and Mary Ellen are over at the Flex this evening for the Spring Leisure and Volunteer Fair, which is why they're not here with us tonight. So we're thanking them for their taking the word about our Rotary Club over there to see if anybody is interested in joining. So we'll look forward to hearing from them when they get back, probably not this evening though. Dave, I'm afraid your name keeps popping up on here. You've got, I think, 3 more. Oh yes, Mike wants his name on here too. That's right. Thank you. Let's start with the AV.
Okay, so the AV upgrade, well, we see the TV and it's working well and it's reliable, which is nice. And I had some further training from my daughter about Zoom tonight, and so far I haven't screwed up. As far as the sound goes, Brian said the end of February he was hoping this stuff would come in, so I expect anytime we'll have the sound all cleaned up. Hopefully it wasn't too bad tonight, but well, we can see what happens with the mic. The other thing I was to mention was the club will be used by the Scouts again this weekend. Yeah, I don't know if anybody knew that. No. But I was told, and yep, we already did that.
Okay.
So yes, and yeah, the coldest night of the year was an event organized, I think, by the town or the. Well, I'm not sure this one was the chamber. The chamber was involved, but
I think it was United Way.
yeah, United Way. It was for the United Way, and the chamber was involved. The town was involved. Anyways, we ended up there doing popcorn, and it was popular. It was an event. The event itself raised, I think, $45,000 to $50,000. So it was really well received, and as was our popcorn. But it was another free event, so we Yeah, we keep giving away our popcorn. It makes these events, people really appreciate it, so.
Drink up,
Yeah.
drink up.
Yeah. So I think that was more like that. Oh, Interact.
Interact.
Yeah, the Interact Club was also, had a team in for the coldest night of the year, and they alone raised $1,200. So that was their first major project, and it was a success. Yeah.
And if you're not aware of what the coldest night of the year is, it's designed to recognize homelessness certainly in Ontario, if not the rest of the country, but anyway. So it's now somebody told me, you told me, it identified 80 people.
Yeah, 80 homeless people in Bruce County.
In Bruce County. And most of them are quite young.
Under 30.
Under 30.
39 and 53%, I think, don't quote me on it, have mental or physical health issues.
Mental or physical health issues that are attributed to death, yeah. So anyways, it's a good recognition of what's going on in the world and what needs to happen to help people. Paul Harris Fellow nominations. I sent this out to everybody. So I think you should have all received it pretty much. I guess Siggy and Rachel, you didn't yet because you weren't on the and you wouldn't have either, Jim. So it's a awards that was established in 1957 to acknowledge individuals who have contributed through their volunteer time or who have contributed $1,000 US or more to the Rotary Foundation. These donations are used for the Foundation's only program at the time, which was the Rotary Foundation Fellowships for Advanced Study, which are the precursor to the ambassadorial scholarships that we have now. Activities of the Rotary Foundation include grants given to districts and clubs, and they have significantly increased from this early beginning. As a result, there's an ever increasing need for donations. So this club has, every time we donate money to the foundation, we do that for Polio Plus. So we do about, is it 2,500? Yeah, which we've already done this year. And we also send in that's about equivalent to $100 per member. So that goes into, so our club roughly does, over the last few years, the average has been about $6,000 Canadian to the Rotary Foundation, giving us points that we can use to give these awards to people. So I think actually we probably have around 20 points sitting there, which means there's $20,000 that has been donated over the last few years. So we have some criteria here that we've written down so that you can nominate people either from the club or in our community who have demonstrated outstanding contributions to support our club or other community organizations or initiatives, who have demonstrated dedicated leadership of volunteer organizations or business activity beneficial to the community. Usually the outgoing president of the Southampton Rotary Club is given one. So we owe Susan one. I think we owe Rob one too.
No, we owe you one for the year before me.
And anybody who has 3 or more years of service to Rotary International at the district level or above is usually given one. So you are asked, we have a form here that I sent out. And we ask that you fill out that form as well as you possibly can. We are asking for 300 words to use to describe the person's contributions. Henry usually does a lovely brochure for us for our awards night. And he and I have worked together on this for a number of years, and we often have to go and spend a lot of time writing these things by secretly speaking to people's spouses and stuff to get all the details, because people say so-and-so is a great person, they've done a great work in the community in this field, and that doesn't really help because we need a few more details. So we're asking you to be as specific as possible and to put all that information down for us so we can put a nice little write up in the brochure when we have our awards night. So I went on and on because I think there's lots of people we've given to in the community in the past. We've given one to Victoria Serta for her work with First Nations. Sandy Lindsay for her community newspaper that she does. Diane Thorne from the Salvation Army. Dr. McCullough for his years of service to the community and also coming back after his retirement during COVID to do a lot of extra work. Let's see. Anyway, there's a number of people.
The people from the butterfly garden.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I know, but
It'll come to me in blinding flash. I'll call you all at 3 a.m. Anyway, so if you could take that under advisement, please, I really appreciate it. And Mike, you have something you want to bring up to the board.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Do I need to be afraid to?
I hope not.
Mike's happy. Yeah, Mike. One of the things about being away on what seems a forever slumberland, as you come back and you realize that the activities of this club just keep on going and people keep on doing good things all the way along. And when I got back, one of the things that we are looking at community services comes out of an idea that's going on, as I understand it, across Canada now, to provide support to policing organizations to get more of their folks out and onto e-bikes, or at least getting some e-bikes available, because there's a view that they're much more flexible in terms of moving around the community, and they can form part of the overall all the positive and other things that go on in the community. So as I said, I want to make copies of this available to everybody. Stu's been helping with this. We've talked with Brett Martin from Martin Cycle, who's going to offer a discount on them. Norco, this is, I couldn't get this off my computer fast enough to bring it with me, but this is a Norco bike that they're talking about using, and Norco have reduced the price on theirs and made them available to the police organizations across the country. So I just wanted to give you a heads up that you'll see some emails from me or Stu along the way, because the challenge is they've got to figure out, are they going to get enough money to be able to purchase the bikes and put them into the service to train their officers on the use. So we're looking at it, and we're going to be getting the pricing, and then we'll make sure that we get the information out to you. Have a chance to see it before we ask you to support it.
Thank you, sir. So these would go to our local police department, right? Two bikes.
Bikes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Those people,
Sure.
we will be able to see it on.
And there'll be a saddle pack that'll go on to carry the necessary supplies that
I feel like John Candy here.
Okay, great, thank you.
Jenny?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it won't take much time here, but these bikes do have a range of 180 kilometers, and the police officer should be quite worn out by the time they do that in a day for the batteries. And also the price of these was $5,000 as early as Christmas time, and we're getting them for $3,000 each at this point. So if we go ahead with it, so just to keep that in mind also.
Okay, terrific. Thank you very much. Good. So I think, Mike, your committee's gonna make a recommendation to the board, and then we would make a recommendation to the club, because it's over $1,000. We'd ask the club members to vote on it.
That's right.
So just to give you a little bit of advance notice about what's happening. I'm open for other business. I have 2 items that have already come to my attention. So does anybody else have any other business they'd like to bring for the meeting today? Okay, then I'll go ahead with the two I have. This is an invitation from the Bruce County Playhouse. They are having a two-person, I think it's two people on this current offering, and it's called the Balloon Caster, the Hottest Air Flight. And it's a musical comedy adventure farce. The first showing was this evening at 7 o'clock, so I declined to tell you about it because I wouldn't have too many people anyway. I didn't want you to get away from me. But there's one tomorrow night, Thursday night, Friday night, and a Saturday matinee and Sunday, and a Sunday matinee. So tickets are online at brucecountyplayhouse.com. I'll send this out as well. Service Club will be given, members will be given 20% off the ticket price as a thank you for your service to the community. So $24 instead of $30. The tickets have to be purchased through Leslie McNamara, who's the PR person. So I'll give you her phone number right now if you have a pencil. 519-373-3694. And just say that you're from the Southampton Rotary Club. They're hoping to have a successful comeback, so that and you can certainly wear your mask and so on if you want to come. So it's so that's a note from Leslie inviting us. The next thing is from Bruce County. It's an invitation to participate in an International Women's Day event it's happening on March the 10th. International Women's Day is actually March the 8th. It's an evening with women leading change. It's 6 to 9 p.m. at the Pavilion in Kincardine. Women's House Serving Gray and Bruce County Business to Bruce are sponsoring it. Tickets are available for $50 a piece until March the 8th. The proceeds are going to be donated to Women's House, which is the women's shelter. There's an online auction running from March the 4th to March the 12th, with funds going directly to the Women's House Serving Gray and Bruce. So, and they're having an award for the annual Women's House Woman of Distinction also. So I will send that out as well if anybody wants to go, if you want to get a group to go. Men and women are invited to attend if they would so desire. That's all I have. Let's go to the wine.
No, we got the wine yet.
Wine? I heard the word
Wheel
wine.
of wine.
Oh, the wheel of wine. Which is basically our 50-50 draw, right?
Want that
So
now?
if you haven't said you don't want to be on it, you're on it.
Yes. I only put Rachel and Siggy on one show because I don't have a spot for them yet. So I found a spot for Rachel.
Okay, so she's generally, I think, she shares pretty well.
Okay, so.
Right, Siggy?
Okay, so sharing screen.
Okay.
Do this right. I was trained today by my daughter. No sound. Share. Move it over. Move it over to the big screen.
Dave, this is amazing.
Oh, don't jinx.
We can't see it here.
Oh, you can't?
You're lying, right?
Nope. All we got is a real tiny, it's blown up, but we can't see the wheel at all.
Okay, just a second.
What do you mean I'm lying?
You're just making my chain.
You're just sitting.
Can you see it now?
And you go mute yourself.
No.
Can't see it now either.
Somebody wants to know if you'd like to mute yourself.
Okay, I'm gonna stop share. Stop share. Share screen. There it is. I'm sharing. I'm sharing. Are you getting it now?
Oh, we have it.
Yay!
Okay, not sure what happened there, but here we go.
It takes a minute to load.
Here we go. I'm really spinning it up. Oh, and it's
So, Siggy, would you like red or white?
It's short and come up.
What?
White it is.
White.
Please.
Yeah, congratulations.
I got no white doing that.
So we'll make sure your face. Anyway, so you're safe. Okay. So I think unless there's anything else anybody else wants to add, we can do the four-way test. So that is, for those of us in the hall, that's up on behind you on the wall there. You have that as well.
I do, just not
We're going to
ready.
give a moment here.
Not quite ready. Zoom screens. Zoom screens. Four-way test.
Oh, yeah. Right through.
Share screen. Share screen. Test. Share. And you guys don't really need to see it here, do you? You guys can see it at home?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Good. We can see it here.
Okay, for all the things we think say we're due first. Second. Is it well, thank you all for participating this evening. We'll look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks. Now I can send him to Pelican.
Bye.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you. Good night. Bye.
Good night.
Bye.
Don't drive too fast.
Jenny, do you have a moment?
I don't know. She can see it also. I'll say it. And then I think it's. Oh, we're gonna have a meeting. Yeah, yeah.
There's lots of little things that go wrong. It's really somebody. Right, it's finally open.
Yeah.
Very good. Good job on stage.
Okay.
Thanks for letting that people get a date.
Yeah,
We'll have it.
There. Not away that way.
I just learning all this food, sharing some, extending. My daughter coached me on it tonight. Yeah,
You should write it down.
I will, but I'm gonna wait till Brian gets everything in.
Yeah. And then if I can do it, not that I want to, but if I.
Well, it'd be nice to have extra people.
Yes.
Because all we have is Rob, Tony and me, like Tony and Rob are away, chunks of the winter, right?
Yeah, well, I'm going to, we're going through that winter, so, but,